Amazon Game Studio has laid off the majority of their Lost Ark team. Oh, shit, boys. Cinema. I'm going to be as kind about this as I can. Lost Ark is a direct competitor to Black Desert Online. We all know this. And the reason is Lost Ark and BDO both succeed at different things within the genre at different rates. I'm going to put on some background music. It's because they both succeed at different things, but they're both really good at combat. Since when? Their combat is really good. Their combat's incredible. They might not seem like similar games, but they're both MMOs, and they're both top of genre combat. Other than that, they're quite different, right? They've got great graphics, they've got great combat, and other than that, they're really kind of different. Lost Ark went in a direction that focused on raids, weekly content, and just honestly leaning into the pay-to-win. BDO also leans into pay-to-win in different ways, and is starting to lead into the weekly stuff, which is honestly not great. That being said, Lost Ark's PvE focuses on raids, group content, etc. And BDO's content focuses on not playing the game. Okay. How's the game doing? Steam charts, Lost Ark. So not super great. Not not the best. Minus 13%, minus 31%, minus 0.2. Hey, still negative, but not as negative, right? Negative 6.55%, negative 3.82%, negative 3%, negative 11%, and continuing to decline. They're at 6. God, bro. Holy moly. Well, yeah, you can see this decline over the last 6 months.
You can actually see the players leaving per day.
Jeez, guys. See, you can see this, like, and for those of you that can't see it, you need to look at the average, like the middle of the waves. The middle of the waves. And if you draw a line, you can see that the line is going down. That line is going down. And that's actually a pretty rapid decline, if I'm being honest. That's pretty rough. That's just 7 days, though. If I go to 1 year, yeah, it's much more pronounced, right? So now you can see it a lot better, right? 6 months, you can still see it. If I go to all, well, you can't really see it right there because it's tough to get below the x-axis. But, okay, but like, oh, shit. Okay, so it's not doing super great. The players are not doing super great. And it says AGS team is done for. Here's the actual Twitter post. We found it here. This is Hardcore Henry. This is evidently one of the people that worked on the game for Amazon Game Studios. It's my understanding that Amazon publishes the game. So Amazon publishes this game, but its devs are Korean. It's kind of like Throne and Liberty. Throne and Liberty. Same thing. So Amazon laying off its studio does not mean that Lost Ark is losing developers. It means it's losing its management team. This would be the equivalent of Pearl Abyss laying off a decent amount of its CMGM staff. Okay. It's Henry says it's been a roller coaster with some highs and lows and some low lows. Oh, some high highs and some low lows. But I've loved my time getting to work and pour my passion into Lost Ark. 9 years at Amazon, 8 at Amazon Games, 4 games launched. See you on the next journey. 07. Damn. And he's not the only one. And he is not the only one that got laid off. A lot of them got laid off. And you hate to see this because I'll be honest with you. As much as we want to shit on Lost Ark, because Lost Ark shits on BDO, BDO shits on Lost Ark, we all shit on each other, right? We all shit on WoW. WoW shits on Guild Wars 2. Guild Wars 2 shits on people. The only thing that people don't shit on is Final Fantasy because, quite frankly, they got their own problems. There's an Epstein list in that fucking game. Now, that being said, I think this is really bad for the MMO community. This is on the back of New World Studio getting shut down. Amazon Games is not doing super great. Not doing super great at all. Again, New World just got shut down. Throne and Liberty is not doing super fucking hot right now. Yeah, so they're... God, jeez, guys. It's looking a little rough, guys. So, like, again, across the entire MMO community, we've got a bit of a problem here. Minus 30%, minus 29%, minus 12.5%, minus 5%. By the way, this was my tournament. And the expansion was like here. And then my tournament was toward the end of this month, into November here. And then here we go, minus 10%. It's rough. It's rough. They're hemorrhaging players. It's not looking super great. For Throne, they are stabilizing at least a little bit. They're only losing 500 players a month, but I'll be honest, at this point, that's 10% of their fucking player base. That's a little rough. You look over at Lost Ark, again, Lost Ark looks exactly the same. You look at, honestly, Guild Wars 2 is not super great to look at on Steam charts because most of the people in Guild Wars 2 play on their client. But you can get a general feel for how the Guild Wars 2 community is doing based on the Steam numbers. So don't look at the numbers themselves like this. You look at the percentage and the trend on the graph, okay? So you can get a general idea of how the player base is doing. Guild Wars 2 is losing players. Minus 11%, minus 1%, minus 0.36. Okay, so stabilize a little bit. Minus almost 11 more percent. Yikes. Really, really struggling right now. And I think that part of why Black Desert is doing well is because the rest of these games are shitting themselves, right? You also look at New World. Obviously, New World is not doing super great because, you know, they announced that they're shutting down, basically. So yeah, this is looking really rough here. So these are all refugees. And I do think that Black Desert is seeing some of the offloading from those games because Crimson Desert is coming out. So you have these other games that are quite honestly shutting down, or Lost Ark is not shutting down, but laying off a lot of the AGS staff that is managing the game is not a good sign. If the publisher is struggling like that and can't afford to pay the bills, that's not a good fucking sign for the game as a whole, obviously, right? So this is really bad. Throne and Liberty's in a really bad spot. Guild Wars 2 is headed downhill. New World is obviously headed downhill. You have Ashes of Never Being Created that shut down in the last month or so here. Like, that was obviously a scam, but the retards that bought into that are now looking for a new game. And I do think that a lot of those people kind of came over to Black Desert, mainly because we have Crimson Desert coming out in, like, I don't know, 2 days. And that's a big deal, right? And so, like, they're kind of getting their foot in the door on trying a different MMO. Maybe they've never tried it before. We also had the Olvia Academy come out, which helps new players catch up. Like, the catch-up mechanics are really, really good. We've got great rewards right now. So, like, I don't think that Black Desert has necessarily improved its gameplay loop a whole lot since December. I'm just going to be honest with you. I don't think that the ball was particularly exceptional. I thought it was maybe a 6 out of 10 at best. Okay, slightly above average. We had some group content, great, but aside from that, okay, and we haven't gotten a crazy amount of changes since then. We got the Olvia Academy, and that's about it. The game's been on kind of maintenance mode, right? That being said, I think the reason we're seeing a lot of players increase is because we're lucky, because we're getting the offshoot.
All these MMOs going to be with Terra in MMO heaven.
We're getting the offshoot of all these other MMOs. I don't know how WoW's doing. WoW's expansion came out, so I'm assuming WoW's doing pretty well right now. Old school RuneScape, a lot of people are playing that right now as well. But again, this is not good, you know, and I'm not going to pretend like, yeah, it's fun to meme and say, yeah, fuck them. Yeah, Lost Ark's going down. But really, this is not a good thing. Lost Ark is a phenomenal game. They have great raids. They have amazing tits on their fucking... I mean, just look at this. Hold on. I mean, like, honestly... the tits on some of these characters. You know what I mean? It's not exactly a good thing, guys. Well, easy. We can have sex later, okay? Chill. Damn, bro, she came after that dick, bro. She was ready. Holy shit. Now, again, I think this is a really bad thing. And I think that the next game, if I'm any of these communities right now, right? Because there's also the World of Warcraft community. They don't really have Steam though. And a couple other MMOs I don't have on this, like ESO and stuff, who's not doing super well right now as well. Nobody's really doing super great, except for WoW that just came out with an expansion. All that being said, the next community that I think is in a lot of trouble is this one right here. I think if you're looking at Lost Ark, and they've got fucking better numbers than Throne looks like they have. This is looking a little rough. We might lose Throne. We might lose the Throne community soon too. I think Lost Ark is Lost Ark's headed downhill, and I'm not going to pretend like I'm up to date on what's going on in the Lost Ark community, but I will say that most of the staples of that community are no longer streaming that game. Like that doesn't help. Like Stoops still streams it a little bit, but not nearly as much as he used to. Laufey's not there anymore. Cannon doesn't fucking stream that. He's basically a BDO street, or I mean, he's a MMO street hooker now. And like a number of the, oh God, I'm blanking on the guy's name, but there's a really good PvPer. Like they just don't play the game nearly as much as they used. Saint, yeah, Saint's a really good one. They just don't play anymore, and that's really bad. You know, that's really, really bad. And I think that Throne, I mean, you look at who watches Throne. Oh, fuck, bro. I'm about to farm. Yeah, this is rough, dude. This is rough, man. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, and part of the problem is, again, they haven't done anything to fix the aspects of the game that people really need. Right? So, I don't know. I would be really scared if I was the Throne community right now. And part of the reason I'm branching out to all of gaming, or I'm trying to like cover news that are in, like, is because I'm worried about the MMO genre. I am. I'm just gonna be honest with you. And I also like, although BDO's doing well right now, guys, let's not pretend that we didn't have our three bozos moment, like, you know, a year and a half ago when they changed Node Wars. And we're not going to pretend that we didn't profit disproportionately when Lost Ark had its last fucking hiccup. The last time that Lost Ark fucking died, we got a tremendous amount of players. That was Land of the Morning Light Part 1. That was when all the Lost Ark streamers came over to BDO and we lost PvP because all the Lost Ark streamers are fucking pussy virgin cowards. Anyways, but like now again, we're getting some of this offshoot again from some of the other MMOs that have basically tanked over the last like 6 months to the last year or so. We're doing well right now, but for how much longer? Because it's not like BDO is necessarily making crazy good changes to the game. I don't know, man. This is not good. This is not good. And honestly, I support the Lost Ark community. That sucks, man. I'm scared that this is going to be BDO. I am. Now, Pluribus publishes BDO, so like they're not going to lay off. They're not necessarily going to lay off like their publishing team, but like the MMO genre is having a bit of a rough 6 months, guys. We're having a rough one. What are some of the things you think brought all these players back to BDO? Well, I mean, again, let me tell you my 4 top reasons why I think people are playing BDO right now. Here is my first reason. Here is my second reason. Here is my third reason. Here is my fourth reason. Here is my fifth reason. By the way, Steam will not give me a refund on Ashes of Creation because I played the game for 4 hours. L Steam, bro, for real. But like all of these games dying, and Black Desert still goes through weekly patches. It's got Crimson Desert right around the corner, which is the biggest thing. I think a lot of these MMO gamers are like, well, we're going to play Crimson Desert. My game's shutting down, or my game's doing really poorly. Why don't we try Black Desert out, right? And then we also just came out with the Olvia Academy, so the player retention is a little bit stronger than it used to be because the rewards are really good. We also have the anniversary event going on right now.
Steam will give you a refund. You have to make an actual ticket, not go through the default refund process.
Okay, Lucy, could you send me a link for that?
I put in an actual ticket.
Yeah, send me the link for the actual ticket thing because I don't know how to do that. All this being said, I don't know how long the success for BDO is going to last. I think it's amazing. I think it's great that we're swelling, but it's also at the cost of all of our. We're watching everyone else die around us. Everybody else is dying around us. It's like a pyramid scheme, and we're at the top right now, right? It's like WoW and us. We're at like the second rung right here. But like, it's kind of like how the PvP scene cannibalizes itself. The MMO scene is cannibalizing itself. And eventually, it will be us. Eventually, it will be us. Because I think that right now, times are good for BDO. And times are about to get better. I do. I think that times are going to get better for BDO because Crimson Desert is going to fuck. That game is going to be super good. People are going to play through Crimson Desert. They're going to realize it's awesome. And then they're going to turn around and they're going to try BDO. And before they realize that game's dog shit, we're going to get a really good fucking swell of players. BDO is overwhelming for a new player, in my opinion. I think that's a red herring. I think that players like that it's overwhelming.
Amazon
players that
has
actually
only
stick with the
6
game.
more months of contract for Lost Ark. After that, Smilegate is probably taking over the West.
I like the game, but I constantly stunlock by bloat. Yeah. I think that most players that are going to get super into BDO actually like the fact that it's got complex systems and really enjoy it. Most of the people that stick with BDO play the game incorrectly long before they start playing the game correctly. I think Crimson Desert is going to do the exact opposite. I think it's going to cannibalize the BDO player base. I'm telling you, Blue. Oh, I think that may happen over time. I think that what's going to happen for BDO over time with Crimson Desert is it's going to go up because people are going to want to try BDO after Crimson Desert. Then it's going to come back down to normal levels, right? Then, if and when they announce the multiplayer for Crimson Desert, that's what I think is going to happen. Because I think the players are just going to be like, well, why the fuck wouldn't I just play on the new engine? That's what I think is genuinely. I think it'll go up in the short term, and as long as they don't have multiplayer for Crimson Desert, and then I think the moment that they introduce multiplayer for Crimson Desert, BDO is in some trouble. In some deep shit. Because they're probably going to have more multiplayer availability. It's going to be a better solo player game to play on your own, because you're going to have tons of progression to go fucking do. Right? Probably. And then, like, BDO will still have its niche player base, but I think it is going to hurt. But we'll see. You know, we don't know for sure. We'll see. We'll see.